Well, Pacelli and Boomer, they're grizzled and gray, talking about Star Wars from back in the day. Got a talk show called Geeky Geezers, it's true, spinning old tales about the stuff they went through. From Atari to Shrek, they know every line. Geeky Geezers, man, they're feeling just fine. Late Savvy's got a lightsaber, swings it with pride. Boomer's got a game but plays it deep in the night. They're ranting about He-Man and old X-Men too. On Geeky Geezers, they're the nerdiest crew, talking Transformers toys, they twist and they turn, singing blues for the geek life, their hearts still burn. Oh, Geeky Geezers, they're living the dream, talking comics and movies, they're busting the scenes. From Battlestar reruns to D&D lore, they're preaching the gospel of geek evermore. Pacelli and Boomer, they'll never grow old. Geeky Geezers with hearts made of gold. They're sitting in the studio, mics turned up loud, reminiscing about Super Friends, feeling so proud. Pacelli loves Spider-Man, Boomer's for Hulk. They argue about Star Trek with passionate both. From Betamax tapes to their old D20s, Geeky Geezers where the nostalgia flows. They got fans in the chat, from the young to the old, tuning in to hear stories that never get told. Talking Ghostbusters, Proton Packs, Toys in the Box, and Saturday mornings with cartoons that rock. Pacelli and Boomer, they're keeping it real. Geeky Geezers with that old school feel. Oh, Geeky Geezers, they're living the dream, talking comics and movies, they're busting the scenes. From Battlestar reruns to D&D lore, they're preaching the gospel of geek evermore. Pacelli and Boomer, they'll never grow old. Geeky Geezers with hearts made of gold. They're singing the blues for the games that they play, for the VHS tapes and the arcades that pray. But the spirits are young, though their hair's turning white. Geeky Geezers keep the nerd fire alight, so tune in each week to the Geeky Geezers show, where Pacelli and Boomer let the good times flow. From X-Files to X-Men, they're dropping the news, singing praises of geek life with them old blues. Pacelli and Boomer, forever they'll be. Geeky Geezers living wild and free.
There we go.
Oh,
and we're live.
Yes, good. I'm sorry, I was on my YouTube channel looking, and I was like, when is okay? I'm always a few seconds behind. Welcome, everybody, to Geeky Geezers. Geeky Geezers. I'm your host, Aged Boomer. This is my co-host, Pacelli.
And I was on your YouTube channel, too, which is where all of you should be as well. Make sure you're watching right now on Aged Boomer's channel, because he needs the watch time. I mean, I'm just being honest.
Yeah, I know. We'll get there. But anyway. And I would also like to introduce Netter of Netter's Network, otherwise known as the Geezette.
Good evening.
She's the pretty one, let's be honest.
Yes, that is true. So here we are. Lynn Green giving 3 likes. Thank you, Lynn Green. And thank you for leaving those comments earlier, too, on the videos. I will comment on those. Thank you.
She really is great about commenting. If she's not there live, she'll come back and keep the conversation going in between streams, so to speak.
And there you go. Troy has a link to my channel as well. Thank
you, so that. As long as you brought that up, at a certain point, we're going to be shutting down Netter's channel and my channel. Asking you all to move over to Aged Boomer's channel if you're not on Aged Boomer's channel already. It's in our chats. It's pinned. It's also in the description below. Like I said, we want to just get everyone over there so we can get him as much watch time as possible.
Exactly. So if some of you are on my channel or Troy's channel, we're getting the watch time, not him. So
like
move over there.
Lynn Green, there are 3 likes.
Well, feel free to watch all 3 channels too at the same time. But anyway,
yes, you could do that too, but it's not.
Yeah, you can hang out here. When we get to the news portion, we're just going to click it over to my channel. Troy Netter insisted. I was so. Yeah. But yeah. We have some good news stories tonight.
So you're not going to beat us anymore, right, Boomer? I'm kidding. We did good. We did good.
We did good. Thank you. And we had a great stream on Friday on Last Call.
Oh God, that was fun. Oh, that was so much fun.
You guys tune in. Troy's hitting the big time. We had a lot of major guests on that stream, like Tom from Midnight's Edge. We had Retro Blasting, that 70s rock fan, Fanzine.
Oh gosh, Brian made it sound like we were doing him the favor. I'm like, dude, you are just wonderful. They all are. They really all are.
I like that 70s rock fan when what was it? Tom was adjusting his microphone to get it sounding
I still
right.
can't understand you.
I still can't understand you. With a Scottish accent.
They're like, oh, dude, you are just terrible.
Dude, you have to say with a Scottish accent.
He tried.
I cannot understand you.
I can't understand a word you're saying.
We had a lot of fun Friday, and we try to have fun every Friday on there, even if it's
true.
Just Troy Netter and myself. But we had a good stream on Friday. We're talking about the state of physical media, and I'm a bit worried because we got some news stories later that I'm finding a little disconcerting. Welcome, Jamie Lee Simmons.
Yep.
Welcome, Big Al.
So much. Hi there.
And Big Al, I will be on Friday with Big Al. We're going to do another Robin of Sherwood stream, so be sure to tune in.
My understanding is you guys don't have a lot of them left.
We're getting there. Who knows? Wow. We may do another show if we finish up Robin Hood. I'm thinking maybe another medieval series, but we're going to play it later until then.
Nice.
There's another one involving a special medieval monk that's also detective. I'm thinking about that one. Cat File, you've heard of it, right?
Is it like the Father Dowling Mysteries medieval times?
Kind of, yes. And it's he's a monk at a monastery, and he's the only one that has any rational thought, where the others are always very superstitious and thinking it's something else. It's one of those. And then of course it's going on in the time of England when King Stephen and the Empress Maud were having a civil war, I think.
Oh wow!
This was prior to the Cromwell one. This is another civil war England had, and I think
there was a bunch of them. Yeah,
a lot of chaos. I think King Stephen finally won it and died shortly after.
Jeez, yeah.
It's like, what was it for? But it's about who gets the throne, right? And it's just
right, exactly.
But become a member for 7 cents a day. Yeah, do that. You get perks.
I like to think it's a bit of a perk. Tomorrow night we'll be watching, looks like it's going to be Project Hail Mary. So that's a private screening for members only. Hope you can join us.
Let's see. Geek Flag Nate knows. What's up, my fellow old farts and the lovely netters? Welcome. Welcome, Lynn Green. Welcome, Zootopia. Connie Cleary, welcome. And Geek Flag with Nate Knows, welcome. Okay, I think I already said that. D Penzek, welcome. Jonathan Conroy, welcome. Let me
Good to see you.
Joshua V875, welcome. And be sure, if you haven't, hit that like button on whichever channel you were on. Hopefully all three, as Lynn Green showed us by example. But right, Troy, as long as they don't start selling firearms and ammo as a digital code, I'll be fine.
Is that a thing? Oh, I see what you're saying. You're making the joke about digital downloads and stuff. Yeah. Well, look, they're really trying to fight your ability to download 3D files to print your own Freedom tools. But
they probably want to stop
I'm sorry,
printing D&D characters.
Yeah, we'll talk about that eventually, but yeah.
Like Henry V dying right after conquering France. Most versions leave that cut. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Are we thinking of the Shakespeare play, Henry V? You ever see the Kenneth Branagh Henry V play, live movie version of it?
Oh, absolutely. That's very good. I think it's like the definitive film version.
I like it. I mean, there have been others. There was a Laurence Olivier one that's rather good. The Laurence Olivier one was interesting because he basically kind of recreated the Globe Theater.
Oh,
in
wow.
the beginning of it, and you get to see the Globe Theater. And then I think it goes into the actual play itself, which may or may not be on stage at that point. I don't remember, but yeah. Geek Flag celebrates 21 months of membership. I am still here. Well, we're glad to have you here.
Thank you so much, my friend. You are a huge supporter and contributor to this channel. We'll get into that after a while.
Sounds good. Yeah, we'll hear his latest take on the goings-ons of Tinseltown. I have to
Exactly.
say, I was watching a Bruce Campbell interview. I think it's that Michael Rosenbaum interview show. You've seen that, right?
Sure.
And Bruce Campbell was basically saying that, he feels Hollywood's time has come and gone. Like everyone's
I
leaving.
agree.
It's not even like he was even saying they were going to Georgia. Now they think they're going overseas. They're like, they're going to be speaking with English. That's why you're going to see Americans speaking.
I am not joking when I am constantly saying that, citing the example of Mel Gibson, who wanted to do some pickup shots on his, I don't remember which movie it was now, in California, and it would have cost so much because of taxation and regulation in California. It was literally cheaper for him to fly the cast and crew overseas, film and put them up for however many nights, get the shots he needed, and come back. That is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And it's not uncommon. I'm hearing more and more of that. So you wonder why Hollywood's dying. And well, again, we'll get into that more with what Nate had to share.
Geek Flag with 8 Nose. Shiba Dog shaking his body from left to right, surrounded by red hearts. Maybe you might want to show that.
I think I will.
Shimmy left, shimmy right, Farty Fock is dancing tonight. Hearts go popping out his bum, wiggle, wiggle, here they come. Come. Cute as can be with a fluffy tail sway, spreading love in the silliest way. Farty Fox, you're the best. Boop, 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 you're simply the cutest mess.
And on that note, on behalf of Netter and myself, wanted to apologize for to Nate and to
Lady Misc,
who both dropped Farty Foxes at the end of Thursday Things, and we missed them before we ended the stream. So sorry about that, guys.
Age Boomer, was that the same video where Bruce talked about his career? Possibly. Yeah, I only caught a clip, so it might have been the same interview.
Yeah.
He was basically saying that, hey, they used to, grow pears out in California. Now they don't, because I guess Harry and David wasn't doing as well. So they moved on to certain other substances that used to be illegal, and they're growing that instead. It's all about business change, he says,
It really has gotten to the point where the regulation on agriculture, and this could get me on a whole separate, screed, but there's so much regulation on farming now that only the big corporations that literally are dominating the foods that you eat are able to produce. You want to buy locally from local farmers. Well, those local farmers are getting regulated out of business by our government. So, welcome the age of the corporation. Those of you that love dystopian sci-fi, it's real and it's here.
It's like that. It's like that show Continuum. You have a corporate Congress, where in this horrible dystopian future. Anyway, I'll bring up the presentation now. How's that sound?
Yep.
I think I know what I'm doing.
Sounds like a plan. Sounds like yes, you do.
Geeky Geezers. We always start out these streams by talking about the good old days, and this one ties into an article we have tonight. We probably talked about this program before, but it's been a while. Maybe we have some new insights.
Oh gosh, yeah. Babylon 5. I'll tell you. So I've talked a lot about my experience at cons, meeting the celebrities and so forth, and I got to say the convention where I think it was like, I don't know, second season or third season, I can't remember exactly, of Babylon 5. There was a convention here in the Chicagoland area that was just. The convention itself was just awful. But I do have to say that the celebrities made it pretty darn awesome. They saw what was going on around them. They they were treated really crummy by the convention. They knew that their fans that had come to see them were struggling, and they were like, we're going to make this the best show for them that we could. And that's where I met most of the people in that picture right there.
You're blocking Dr. Franklin.
Yes, I am. And I feel bad about that. Okay. Let me go ahead. Well, I don't want to be there. Well, I don't want to block that.
No,
so
I'll just move back in a minute. I just don't want people accusing us.
No. That's exactly
you're
right.
You're blocking him off because he's okay. Yes, no, he's yes.
Anyway. So with maybe 2-3 exceptions there, we met all of them at this particular convention. I think the only
was Kosh there?
No, Kosh was not there. Okay. I'm forgetting the psionic, the blonde psionic gal. She wasn't there.
Lita Alexander.
And neither was Garibaldi, which hurts me the most now in retrospect, because I never did get to meet him, and that would have been just aces.
He was the Italian representation on the show.
Right, that's exactly right. And as we would later find out, the conservative representation in the cast, but that's a whole other thing. Although he was there, we had met Andreas Skatsoulis a couple of years earlier at a Star Trek con, because his first convention of any kind was at a convention in the Chicago area where he was there representing the Romulan Empire, and we worked security with him.
Tomalak on TNG, right? Yes.
Yes, exactly right. And I'll tell you, so they were all sitting in a line, signing autographs, and you could literally just go down the line and get each one of their autographs. And I actually thought that this was pretty cool for a smaller convention. I don't think this would work at some of the bigger cons like MegaCon or whatever, but at this small con, you could buy all the pictures of the people you wanted to get a picture, get an autograph of, and then walk the line and say, can you sign this for me or whatever. Well, it was really funny because Netter was carrying the camera so she could take a picture of me with each of the people signing autographs, but she was also carrying the pictures. And we got to, I can't remember, I think it was Bill Mumy who was there that we had just talked to, and then right after him was Peter Jurasik, Londo.
Yes.
And then after him was Mira Furlan, who played what was her name? Ambassador Delenn. Yes. Yeah. And we get to Peter Jurasik. And I saw somebody knew this story was coming because I've told it before. I get to Peter Jurasik, and I looked, kind of look left, look right. And I'm like, just like I had with Bill Mumy. But Bill Mumy was getting this a lot. Man, I was such a fan of you on Lost in Space. And some people are even having him sign Lost in Space pictures and stuff like that. So he was getting that a lot. But almost nobody was saying things like that to Peter Jurasik. And I got to him and I'm like, look, I said, I'm going to tell you, I love what you do. You really make Babylon 5 for me and many of the fans. I said, but I got to be honest with you. I was a fan of you long before you ever did this, because Hill Street Blues. And he just lit up. He's like, oh man, that's so great to hear. And people love to hear that you're more than just a fan of that one character I'm here to promote. And we just got to talking a little bit. And he's like, hey, you going to get a picture with me? And I'm like, well, they said we really couldn't, so she was just gonna. And he's like, who said? Said what? I do what I want. And he gets up and he pushes the table apart, and both Bill Mumy and Mira Furlan look like, what's going on? And then they start laughing because they're like, okay, we know what's going on. He's like, come on over here, kind of almost in Londo voice, right? And puts his arm around me, gets a picture with him. I thought that was so great. I said, well, let me help you put the table back before someone gets in trouble. He's like, well, it's not going to be me getting in trouble. We then move over to Mira Furlan, and Netter's got she got Ivanova's picture, and I don't remember who else, and Mira Furlan. But Mira Furlan, it was a picture from first season where she had the full on head thing, and
Yes.
Netter's like, well, you tell it because you.
Yeah. So I've got like 3 pictures of women, and I'm looking at her. I'm looking at the pictures, and I'm like, I'm sorry, can you pick out which one is you? I don't recognize you with hair.
Oh.
And Peter Jurasik heard it, and he starts laughing. He goes, "That's a good one." And she's like, "That's fair," and she points to her picture. It was a great time. These guys were all great. Now, I've already told my story about just this past couple months ago where we spent like a friggin' half hour talking with Bruce Boxleitner. Didn't get that much chance to talk to him at this previous one, but he's a lot of fun too. A little bit more bass.
Funny, you underestimated. We didn't talk to Bruce Boxleitner for a half hour. We talked to Bruce Boxleitner for almost 50 minutes.
Yeah, so that's like a half hour, just a little bit more than half hour. No, it was really, really good stuff.
There's
but
Bruce.
and I'm totally bearing the lead here too. This was a show that, look, this was not based on anything previously. This was J. Michael Straczynski created this show. Now, people in the chat are going to argue this with me. I've heard it both ways. I don't know what the truth is anymore. But from what I've heard, J. Michael Straczynski had pitched this idea of a neutral zone space station between warring factions. He pitched this to Paramount, CBS, whoever it was at the time, for a series set in the next gen. And they passed on it. And he's like, well, okay, screw it. I think this is a really good idea. I can make this work, and I'll do it without using any other, IPs. I'll just make it my own. Well, sure enough, he goes into producing this, and then suddenly Paramount announces Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, the parallels are so ridiculously similar. You could totally see where this would have been Bajoran, Cardassian,
Sure.
Klingon, all of them. And I'm like, wow, man, that's just pretty low stuff. And when you get right down to it, Deep Space Nine didn't start out very strong. It got real good, but it took a long time to ramp up.
Kind of like
pilot.
all of it did have a great pilot, though.
Let's be honest, it had a great pilot, but again, that was focusing on a great captain character with
Sisko.
I mean, the emotion there, for crying out loud, losing his wife, becoming a single father in the military, and that whole bit about trying to explain how humans experience time in a linear fashion to these temporal creatures that see all of time at once. And
Prophets,
they keep showing up in different images of memories. And one of them being his wife saying, but if you're linear, why do you keep coming back to this point? You never leave this. And they're talking about his wife's death. It's not linear. And he starts to cry and he goes, you're right. It's not linear. It's like he's trying to explain himself and they explain themselves to him through a very emotional moment. And it was, I'd say that moment of him wrestling with not getting past his wife's death in that pilot is just like Grace Zabruski and her scream when she realizes her daughter has been killed in the pilot of Twin Peaks. But getting back to Babylon 5, talk about another one that really gets you from the very beginning.
Had a pilot. Was not as... Go ahead.
You go ahead. No. You go for it.
I remember watching the pilot and not being completely sold, but I said I will still watch it when it comes on TV because there weren't a ton of science fiction shows on TV, especially ones that weren't Star Trek. So I figured let's give it a chance. It wasn't as rough as TNG's beginning, but like I remember, I don't think they had the makeup quite down for all the alien creatures. I think they made them look a little too alien or something in the beginning.
Yeah.
And I think they dialed that back.
Well,
when
let's
the show
face
came
it.
back. Yeah.
The race that Kosh comes from is like, oh my gosh, that's like way thinking. I mean, you don't start seeing that kind of alien until we get Project Hail Mary, I think, or something like that, where you go, no, this isn't just a humanoid, with different head bumps. This is a creature that grew up on a completely different environment, Yeah. It's life, Jim, but not as we know it,
You might see it on something like Doctor Who, maybe. You would see really weird aliens, but even though they didn't have the effects all the time. But this show had effects. It had it was totally CG.
Very early CG, which, I mean, it was somewhere between the photorealistic that we have now and like Money for Nothing. It was somewhere in between there. And I realize that's a big gulf. But it kind of really worked.
Yes.
Because one thing that they really had on very interestingly, was the space physics. You had these ships that would thrust, for speed, and then they would shut down their engines, turn on thrusters to turn 180 degrees, and then fire those same thrusters again to slow down, to go back the other way or to stop. There was no inertial dampeners or anything like that. And I'm like, that's really cool. And although they didn't really do the convention of no sound in space, before Battlestar Galactica did it, this show did, where it would have very muted sounds for the firing. So it was almost like if you were inside the cockpit, you would hear a sound because it would be reverberating through your ship, but you wouldn't hear it outside the ship. It was very, very, they'd have explosions where you would just see the light in the distance and you would go, wow. The silence was almost deafening,
Yeah.
The ending for Babylon 5 still hurts to watch. Yeah. That's amazing stuff.
I wasn't a fan of the pilot movie in past, and my dad started watching the show and talked me into it. That first season was much better as it went on. Because the first season is really about introducing you to the world, but there's always some new nugget you get each episode about something that's going to be relevant later on. So nothing's really a waste of time. Yeah.
The other thing that I pointed out, that this show was a little bit ahead of its time. It joins the ranks of things like Twin Peaks, where you kind of want to have watched it all along to get what was happening. Deep Space Nine starts getting into that kind of thing too. Yes, each episode does stand on its own and you could enjoy them, but if you want to see the overarching story, you do want to watch it from the beginning. And what was very important is, you said the first season really introduces you to the world, but it takes its time to introduce you to the characters too. It ties them to the world. It ties them to the history, and they all have baggage. There's been wars. They fought against each other. There is prejudices. There is animosities.
Earth had two major wars with alien races before the show begins.
Exactly right. Yes. And you're dealing with the fallout of that. And as you're going, you're filling in that history. But one other thing that J. Michael Straczynski does that so few writers did, we got it a little bit from the people that did Fringe. But I think Fringe was a little bit more haphazard, grab things. J. Michael Straczynski had a map for 5 years. He knew where it started and where it ended. Now that his plans get detoured a lot, as one of his main actors had to leave the show rather early on. So he had to work around that, using a substitute, a bunch of other things, a cancellation after, I think it was season 3, where he felt he had to wrap everything up, and then he had to re-ramp it again when they got to season 4 and 5. So it was kind of a nightmare for him. But he planted seeds of story very early on that have wonderful payoffs in the later season.
Oh yeah.
I mean, so second season, you get an influx of new characters. It's almost like we don't want to hit you with everyone at once. Get to know these characters, and then season 2 will add attachés and assistants for you to get to know. And one of those being Londo's assistant, Veer.
Yes.
Played by, what's his name? Firth. The one who played Flounder in Animal House. No, I'm drawing a blank on his name. We did an in remembrance for him too.
Stephen First.
Steve, was it Stephen? Okay, Stephen First.
We've had a lot of in remembrance.
A lot of people from the show. Very few. Delenn here is no longer with us.
She was on Lost, though. She got a second acting gig.
That's right. She did.
Yeah.
She. Oh, yeah. She really. She was on. Yeah. In fact, her scenes just, I forget anyone else is on the show, but that's beside the point.
The interesting thing about Babylon 5, Marc Malnekoff was mentioning how Jakar was a Klingon. I think what the show introduces is that all the races have warrior castes. Like
right.
Humans do, so do Mimbari, and those are sort of like where you would find the more Klingon mentality, I think, rather than it being a specific race. Of course, I felt bad for the Narn because the Narn were wronged badly by the Centauri, but
and you've
they're
got
not perfect either, though. Yeah,
you've got the I'm forgetting what her race was. The Mimbari. The Mimbari, which you could analogize to either and or both the Vulcans and the Bajoran, because you got this like very priestly class. They're very very stoic, but they've definitely got a warrior class.
Oh yeah.
That they're the warriors. And then you've got the near godlike Vorlons. What was Vorlons?
Well, they don't
right.
know they don't know much about Kosh. The Vorlons are very mysterious. You find out later on they're what they call one of the elder races. And hold on.
Right.
Who's going to forget about Zathras? I should have had a single photo for Franklin, though. I forgot about that.
Talk about planting seeds. His story is so timey-wimey and done so well. It's time travel done right because it sets up all the stuff that has a payoff later on when the time travel stuff is revealed, you know?
But I was watching that original first episode of just the main season, not the pilot.
Oh, here's another Star Trek relationship. Oh God, help me with her name.
I always have it.
And I know that Nate's gonna know her name like that.
Trisha Tallman.
She's the ginger.
Tallman, right? Yes. She was the star of the remake of Night of the Living Dead. She was also Gates McFadden's stand-in in Star Trek: The Next Generation because she was the stunt coordinator, or one of the stunt coordinators for Star Trek: The Next Generation and many other shows, actually. So it was kind of nice that she gets her own, her own character on a TV show. She did also play some minor roles in Next Gen besides being a stand-in.
Lita Alexander, that was her name.
Lita Alexander, right? Exactly.
There's a lot to unpack with Babylon 5, but it's I always felt the impression, like when it was on, that Star Trek fans, they were going after Babylon 5 fans and they were whatever, but maybe that wasn't the case at the conventions. I think that Star Trek alum didn't have a problem with this show. You see a lot of Star Trek alums show up on this show.
That's very, very true. It's very, very true. And I think the fact that, the whole, like I said, whether or not it's true or not, the idea that this was originally pitched as a Star Trek show and then Deep Space Nine. I'm sorry, you try comparing this to Deep Space Nine and Babylon 5 is going to win every time. It really is.
Deep Space Nine, though, I'm going to admit, holds up better than I remember it holding up watching it now, though. I mean, I won't throw shade at Deep Space Nine. Do I like Babylon 5 more? Yes. But there's
if you stuck it out until the final seasons of it, then I agree with you.
Yeah.
But I feel like Babylon 5 more hit the ground running. Yeah, maybe it was a big ask with the first episode to get to know all the characters and the lore and I keep comparing it to Star Trek. The better description or the better analogy would be to Lord of the Rings. You actually have, if you consider what's his name? Sheridan being like Strider, and you consider the
Rangers.
They had their own Rangers. You had the Shadows, that would be like from Morgoth or whatever. You have Delen's people are basically your elves. I mean, you kind of. There's clearly meant to be at least some allegories to, and let's face it, you do the same thing with Star Wars, drawing from things. I mean, there's nothing new under heaven. I don't begrudge any creator pastiching some of our favorite fandoms as they create their own brand new, worlds.
Michael O'Hare as Commander Jeffrey Sinclair, and he passed away September 2012 at the age of 60 due to a heart attack.
Yeah, and he had some serious health issues very early on, which is why he had to leave the show and then come back for a guest appearance later on.
I thought they worked that out pretty well, though, because we didn't know what happened to him. I thought maybe the actor left or the studio said we want to recast, so we got a different captain. But they didn't kill off this character, and he actually shows up later on, and he actually plays a very pivotal part in the lore of the series later on. So I don't want to spoil it for those who are watching it for the first time.
I can say this, though. It ties in with the timey-wimey storyline that I alluded to earlier.
So many people.
Yep, Andreas Kansoulis. All of these, with the exception of the Doctor who passed away before we started doing Geeky Geezers, all of these folks have in remembrances on earlier Geeky Geezers. Real quick, wanted to say hi to Jesse Green. Good to see you, my friend.
Jerry Doyle, Garibaldi, everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad, and this. I mean, this is probably why we'll never really see a
I got the impression that Jerry Doyle and from things that, and I don't want to speak for him, but I'm just giving the impression. But what's his name? I just said it. Tron.
Bruce Boxleitner.
Bruce Boxleitner, yeah, was saying such nice things about Jerry Doyle. It's just. We mentioned something about how many people we'd lost, and when we got to Jerry Doyle, it was like a special hurt for him, like they'd been close, and I hope that was true. I mean, not that I want anyone to hurt over someone's death, but I love to know that people were remembered fondly too.
Yeah, a lot of intrigue on this show, though. There's bad stuff going on with the Earth government when a certain president takes over during the course of the show.
It's kind of weird. And we've talked about this too, because Straczynski will tell you, this was absolutely meant to be a commentary on this, that, or the other political thing that was contemporary at the time. But you look at it and you go, but what you're talking about has always been and will always be, so it's very easy to project any time. Oh, I see that face, and it's like, dude, you've got to see this show just for his storyline. Oh,
that's Mr.
I don't want to give anything away. Yeah,
let's just say that there are.
What do you want? I'll tell you what I want.
Let's go over this. There are 5 main alien races that are the power players in the known galaxy. There are the Narn, the Centauri, the humans, the Minbari, and the Vorlons. That doesn't mean that there aren't other powerful races out there that people don't know about. And maybe this guy is their ambassador, okay?
Right.
I'm probably spoiling too much as it is. There's also the League of Non-Aligned Worlds. We don't give them enough credit. That was interesting. They were other alien races that basically formed a loose alliance with each other because just for protection.
Which I always felt like was something missing from Star Trek. I really did feel like if you weren't part of the Federation and you weren't part of the Klingon Empire, you were your own thing. And why weren't the Romulans siding with the Gorn and the Tholians or whatever? You know, I mean, why weren't there more of those kinds of alliances?
If I was doing Star Trek and like setting it after the Next Generation time period, basing it on the present, I would have almost an alternative federation that might be inspired by the European Union, with many of these like smaller group races banding together as like a foil for the Federation. Maybe not necessarily enemies, but like a foil for them in situations. Maybe they have different ideals, and it can be made up. Especially given the line from Star Trek VI when Asad Bor says, and of course this is from a Klingon perspective, she says, "What is the Federation but a Homo sapiens only club?" You know, and I could totally see a whole bunch of alien races looking at the Federation that way. It's like, if we don't agree with your ideology, we're out on our own. If we don't accept your prime directive and, you know, this, that, and the other. And in a way, Quark was there saying that from the Ferengi point of view, you know? Yeah, that's not true, by the way. Homo sapiens only. The Vulcans also carry a lot of weight, but that's about it.
You're not wrong. It was almost
and Vulcans. Like that's what it is.
The humans on the leash of the Vulcans. Really,
I don't want to say leash, they hold
I think there's. If you watch Enterprise, there were some humans that felt that way.
Oh, I know in the beginning, based on what I've seen from that. But you know, it's interesting. But yeah, this is Mr. Morden. There's a lot of other creepy stuff going on here. Like I said, Straczynski said he was inspired by Lord of the Rings, Foundation's Foundation series, and the Lensman Chronicles, which were a big science fiction thing I was a fan of. He wrote screenplays for those books that were going to get produced into movies by Universal, and then they chickened out. They were going to have Ron Howard direct them. I'm so mad. We could have gotten Lensman movies, but whatever. But I don't want to get too much into spoilers, but these things, you see these, you run.
Yeah. So here's a great use of the CG, right? Because these shadow ships, they don't have a cloaking device per se, but they have that look. You know, like against space, you might not be able to see them. They really do function as shadows. They're just really cool, just really creepy, and incredibly, incredibly powerful.
Babylon 5 is a good example of how the United Nations or NATO can work and fail trying to do its job. Here's the problem. Like Babylon 5, it was originally an initiative by the Earth government, but then when the Earth government gets kind of wonky, they don't really like Babylon 5 so much. I don't know if you ever got this impression from the show. I think they sent Sheridan there, the new administration that took over the presidency, because they thought Sheridan would just muck it all up, because they figure here's a guy who's probably hated by the Minbari. They'll drop out of the console because this is the only guy that managed to destroy one of their ships during the Minbari War, and he's just some soldier that'll do what we tell him to do anyway, because that's what he is. They underestimated him. That's what happened.
Right.
They thought he was going to be
In a way, it was a lot like, and I forget which one was it, the Romulan? I can't remember. In Star Trek V, they send somebody to Narendra 3 or whatever it is, which is supposed to be, you know, a neutral ground where the Klingons, Romulans, and humans come together. And she comes in all optimistic. We're going to have galactic peace. And the Federation Klingon ambassador, who've already been there, are like, this is where you go for your career to die. They sent you here to get rid of you, you know? And that's, I get that impression of that's what they saw Babylon 5 as. But if the story was where the Romulan ambassador comes in and convinces them, hey, we can actually make this happen, and she actually challenges them to start working together. Yeah, there's plus, I mean, you know, when an outside force comes along, I don't know, the Dominion. Another parallel.
Well,
Never mind.
I can't believe I am actually defending Deep Space Nine. I'm the one defending Star Trek this time around. The Dominion, well, no, because the Dominion was not the Star Trek ripoff of the Shadows. The Star Trek Over the Shadows was Species 7846 thing that were going after the Borg. That I felt was ripping off the Shadows or the Daleks, or maybe both. I don't know. Whereas I felt the Dominion was basically set up as an evil version of the Federation. That's how I saw them.
Yeah, well, I saw them as a watered down version of the Shadows. So,
well, anyway, what was I going to say though? But what I thought was interesting though, someone made a point how the UN can fail. The interesting thing about this show, the first two seasons start out, the last best hope for peace is Babylon 5. Season 2, last best hope for peace is Babylon 5. Season 3, Ivanov is doing it. The Babylon Project was our last best hope for peace. It failed.
Yes.
And then you see
that was great.
And then they show all the scenes of, yes.
The first season of that season, or the first episode of that season, when she says that, because you've been listening to it all along, and you think you know what she's going to say. It's like, damn.
It was a gut punch,
and
she was right. I'm sorry.
Yes, she absolutely was.
The last best hope for victory is Babylon 5, because now there's a horrible war going on. Yes, well, we want to get into it. We don't want to get into it. But anyway, Babylon 5, check it out. Someone mentioned it's on Tubi. It may be somewhere else closer to home. You may want to check it out. We're going to get to an article like that in a little while. But anything left to say on Babylon 5? I could
go on for hours talking about this. We should probably just move on. And by and by moving on, I should say, guys, Netter and I are shutting down our streams right now. So if you want to continue, you don't have to put in that disclaimer, dude. If you want to continue watching, if you want to see what's coming next, and there's some really good stuff coming up, come on over to Aged Boomer's channel. The link is pinned to the chat. It's also in the description below. Come on over to Aged Boomer and give him the watch time.
Do you want to be?
We got to get him monetized.
Do you want to be part of something? Something that's we just hit the 500 mark. We're really pushing through those numbers. I just got to get the watch hours up. Yeah. So come on over. Yeah. Troy and Netter will be here with me. They're not going anywhere. Okay, so just click on those links. All right, follow us over here.
Goodbye on Netter's channel.
Bye.
Terminate. And goodbye on Troy's channel.
Exterminate.
Terminate. There we go. And we are now live on, we're still on X, but we're live only on X and Aged Boomer's channel. So if you're still here, you're on Aged Boomer's channel. So.
Here comes the boom. Thank you. And we will have I'm not going to say anything. Maybe we might have something from Nate Knows in a little bit. But here we are. Welcome everybody who decided to click on over. You should have, because we got some news stories tonight that hopefully not all of them will depress you. As we talk about the latest in geek news. And let me go ahead and bring that up. And hold on, bear with me, folks, while I get my notes. Okay. Good old days, Babylon 5. Let's talk about that. Oh, wait, no, never mind. We did that. Okay. Halo Campaign Evolve Studio suffers Xbox layoffs with game seeing mixed sales. You had responded to my sending of this. You said mixed sales?
I know. It's like, no. I don't know what's mixed about it. It's pretty clear. They're gilding the lily.
There's the people that bought it and returned it and the people that didn't buy it at all.
Yeah. That's mixed sales, I guess.
A disturbing pattern is repeating at Halo Studios in the wake of Halo Campaign Evolve release date. A producer and a project manager are leaving amid rumors of dysfunctional leadership. With future Halo games in doubt, sales of the latest remake may not be meeting expectations. Formerly 343 Industries, Halo Studios has experienced its share of instability following the Halo Campaign Evolve release date. Layoffs of some of the developers have begun. While the job losses seem isolated, the news comes after the rumors of canceled projects and abusive leadership Leadership. Combat Evolve Remake sales are also uneven on the Xbox, PlayStation 5, and Steam. On social media, Smash JT reported that several employees are leaving the company. Insider Rebs Gaming hasn't heard of the widespread layoffs, but noted that the individuals held key positions. Nick Treatman was a Halo Studios producer for the past 6.5 years. His LinkedIn post highlights how he collaborated with teams responsible for artwork, networking, and more. In addition, he managed the social multiplier component of Halo Infinite. Treatman describes how he avoided several rounds of firings until he learned the unfortunate news. Paul Morris served as a Scrum Master, typically a crucial project management role. The developer revealed that on the heels of Halo Campaign Evolve release date, he will be departing. Software engineer Caleb Lawrence has also changed status to open to work. In 2023, 343 Industries reportedly lost 95 employees, in part due to a lackluster reception of Halo Infinite. It underwent further changes before rebranded as Halo Studios in 2024. Given that over 3,000 Xbox layoffs are incoming as CEO Asha Sharma resets Microsoft's gaming business, no worker may be safe. Rebs Gaming details the troubled development of Combat Evolve Remake. The leaker claims that the studio head, Pierre Hintz, was the subject of HR complaints for abuse. Making matters worse, the multiplayer project Eucure was axed, and the future of Halo games is uncertain. Whether more developers exit could depend on the success of Halo Campaign Evolved. It's not doing well, so that's not going to happen. It's too early for Microsoft to make any final judgments. Wouldn't it be great if they could just go to id Software and maybe get those guys to work on a Halo game? Oh, wait, you gutted that studio. Never mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
So I don't know the personalities you're talking about here. I don't know their history. Look, we never want to see people losing their jobs. It always sucks. But this company is experiencing contraction because they've made very, very bad decisions. Some of which is the talent that they put in charge of certain things, certain aspects. So they end up throwing out the good with the bad when you have these kinds of contractions. But you've also been seeing people being pushed out who are very talented, but maybe they just didn't believe the same things that the company wanted them to believe. So we're seeing this over and over again. We see it at Disney. We see it with games. We see it in every area where you're losing real talent for stupid reasons. And then you suffer because you've lost that institutional knowledge.
My son despises the new Halo game and he's a big Halo fan. Yeah, well, this is a remake of the original. That's, from what I've heard, is not as good as the original. This is like Star Wars being handed over to another company, like maybe Disney. Halo was originally a Bungie property worked on by Bungie employees, and then it got handed over to 343. And ever since it's been handed over to 343, people have not liked what they've done with it. All right.
Yeah.
They thought the tone, the game, they just weren't as good, and they've steadily gotten worse over the years until we got this latest one with this. Just they fired almost all developers to go out of their way to hire women and men who identify as okay. Well, I didn't know about that, but that wouldn't surprise me. I think this might be what we call a woke game studio. Whereas I felt it still had plenty of talented people over there, and I felt their layoffs were not as like, this is not something I care as much about. There may have been some talented people, and hopefully those people bounce back on their feet. And then there may have been people working there who never should have been there to begin with. What I do know is that this was one of Xbox's major franchises. This was like their Mario or Zelda, or I guess Last of Us, if we're counting a Sony series. But it's like it was one of their major exclusives, which they then decided to put on their competitor's system, which made no sense to me whatsoever. And the guy that made that decision is now gone, and now we have Asha Sharma in charge. And any other company, any other game console manufacturer in the past, Xbox would have been gone ages ago. They don't know what they're doing. They've made too many mistakes. But because Microsoft funds them, and I guess Microsoft has unlimited funds, they can just keep the brand going. But I kind of don't understand why they're still bothering to be in this race. But what do you think?
Yep. No, okay. I agree. And I feel like with
You get punished. For
We're
your
going to get
mistakes.
to a lot of other articles about gaming in general. Gaming is taking a serious hit. The industry is. I don't see how it continues. You can't afford to keep making these kinds of missteps. You just can't, and keep a business functioning.
Let's move on to the next article. This is, of course, now back into PlayStation land. What's the old expression? Companies don't get punished for their sins; they get punished for their mistakes. Or maybe that applies. But PlayStation 5 consoles are now reportedly coming with warning stickers. In a move that has once again sparked backlash within the gaming community, Sony now seems to be placing advisory stickers on PlayStation 5 consoles, warning players that physical games will soon be discontinued. The death of physical media draws ever closer, with Sony making the decision to cease production of physical games starting January 2028. It's not a choice the company seems to be backing down on either, based on stickers that have reportedly begun appearing on the boxes of PlayStation 5 consoles. One such sticker was spouted on the back of a PlayStation 5 box and shared on social media on August 5th with a message that reads, "Important notice. From January 2028, the newly released games on PlayStation will be available for purchase on PlayStation Store and at retailers in digital format only. Disc release before January 28 can continue to be played on this console." Well, that's big of them.
And let's be very clear that they said purchase. That's not purchasing. There's still a huge problem with their verbiage that's going to result in some serious lawsuits. Want to say hi to Brian, that 70s rock fan. So good to see you. He says, good evening. Nice to see. I'm not the only old gamer. That's right. Hail to you. Yeah, we talked a lot about a lot of these issues, and I said we'd get back to them today. Here we go. So make sure you check out our stream from last Friday and last call. It was a great stream, including Brian, that 70s rock fan, and a bunch of other subject matter experts. But gamers are pissed. But gamers need to do something with that ire. They need to stop allowing it. Stop bending over and spreading their butt cheeks for these corporations.
Here's the problem, and this is what I was trying to get at Friday. I know we couldn't really reach a consensus on the panel, and that's fine because we don't know, but where are the gamers on this? And I know money ultimately talks on this, but I often wonder if the vocal people are, maybe even if they're a sizable number, if they're not enough to sway these companies, because you have all these other people out there that don't care. I don't know. That's what I'm bothered
I can kind of amalgamate, because, I wouldn't have had people on my channel if I wasn't in communication, watching their channels, knowing where they're coming from. I think first off, we have a situation where a lot of this stuff is fairly new, so we haven't had a chance to see the market make its reaction. So if there's going to be like a true organic boycott and people stop buying stuff, we don't know that until it actually happens. We have a lot of speculation, what we believe about the gaming community, and now I'm not sure who it was. I want to say maybe it was Greg over at Fanzine Vids was saying that unfortunately there's a lot of people that don't understand why this is a problem. Oh, it's so much more convenient. Play anywhere. It's all online. It's the cloud. It's the future, because they just don't understand. And if there's enough of them making this possible, well, when your internet goes down, when Microsoft's internet goes down, when they decide you can't play that game anymore, you're going to find out the frickin' hard way why we all fought for physical media.
Yeah.
So I guess bottom line, what I'm getting at is there isn't going to be a consensus because we just don't know. We can only speculate what the herding of cats will bring about as we go forward with these fans.
Because what I'm theorizing is that there is a large contingent of fans that are very angry about this, but I'm just worried that there's another larger, maybe even a larger contingent that doesn't care, and that's what I'm worried about. I'm all for having choice. Like, if people want to buy the game digitally, that's fine, or if they want to buy it physically, I think you should have the choice to do either. I don't like choice being taken away. That's my big issue with this.
Agreed.
And I'm very worried with this next article. This is my cause for concern because, well, you had sent me an article about this, a video about some guy, and Call of Duty Black Ops 1 and 2 have now been made available for purchase on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation.
For purchase. I'm going to point out every time that's quoted when they talk about purchasing, buying.
You can purchase a license to play it for however they seem fit. How's that sound?
But that's not what they're saying, though. That's the problem that they're going to run into, legally speaking.
Let's talk about the legalese. Call of Duty Black Ops 1 and 2 are games that are available through Activision. And, of course, Activision is now owned by Microsoft Xbox, because we talked about this years ago with the whole big merger.
Right.
These were popular games on the PlayStation 3. I have the PlayStation 3 copies of these with some of the DLC. They are currently now being sold for $39.99 each, digitally only, without the DLC. They're not going to throw in the DLC. I was curious about if they are available on Xbox Series consoles until I remembered, the 360 versions are compatible with the current Xbox. So if you bought them on the Xbox 360, either digitally or you still have your old Xbox 360 discs, you should be able to play them on your modern Xbox console. No need to rebuy. Of course, you can't play your PlayStation 3 discs on a PlayStation 4 or a PlayStation 5. But now you have them available here. Don't they mean rent?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't
exactly right.
Don't say that to me. I have bought digital games. Anyway, not for $40 I haven't, but okay. The recent PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 ports of Call of Duty Black Ops 1 and 2 are already some of the best-selling games of the year, according to the analysts. This is what makes me depressed. Like, people yell at Nintendo for releasing Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 for like $70, and I think rightly so. It should have been no more than $60. Whereas I think this should have been a combo pack, hopefully on a disc, with all the DLC for like $60, and they're $40 each. And you sent me the video of that one guy who was saying if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you get them for $19.99 each.
Right.
But if you're not, you have to pay the full $39.99. And I'm worried. We had a lot of people saying, I'm going to cancel my PlayStation Plus account. But what if people decide, well, I get these for half off. It might be worth it to re-up for PlayStation 5. Or if they, you know what I'm saying?
We get it for half price, something that we could have already had, and they're reselling to us. That's the kind of stupidity that I'm talking about, where they're just bending over and spreading their butt cheeks.
Well, what do you expect them to play? The current Call of Duty? That sucked.
Well,
last month, Activision surprised Call of Duty fans by dropping ports of Black Ops 1 and 2 on modern PlayStation consoles. Activision has somewhat notoriously avoided releasing older Call of Duty games as fans speculate that it would distract players from newer games that are more lucrative for the publisher. Still, it seems that after Black Ops 7 failed to meet expectations last year, these ports put into production to earn the player back trust and generate some quick cash. The plan worked absurdly well. That Black Ops 2 sold a whopping 8.2 million on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, while Black Ops 1 sold 3 million. The firm estimated that the games collectively generated 435 million on PlayStation. The two are estimated to be the highest selling PlayStation titles of July, with Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resync trailing in third with 1.6 million copies, roughly half the number of copies sold as a 16-year-old game. But let me see, though. Another notable part of the story, though, is that these ports haven't made any significant changes from their original versions. There are no new features or content, and even the technical aspects largely remain unchanged. You probably think that sounds bad, don't you? But sometimes when they remaster these games, they actually do make them worse. So maybe it was just as well they left them alone. But at the same time, I think this is ridiculous, and I'm very nervous that people might have paid a combined $80 for both these games that they already owned at one point in time. And what is this? And they're digital only. And what does this bode for the Grand Theft Auto release this fall?
And this is, you were just saying sometimes they remaster and they make it worse. This is why I'm looking at you Stargate fans. You're so eager for Amazon to to keep and do something new with Stargate, be careful what you wish for, because there's a lot of Doctor Who, Star Wars, Star Trek fans that kind of wish that the properties had just died when they were still good, rather than live on to be these zombie productions.
Yes.
But, you know, what do I know?
Well, they're still around and they don't die.
Right.
No, we should be mad at Nintendo for what they started this digital BS with the Switch to. Now come now, Jesse. You can go out and you can buy a Switch game key card, which doesn't have the game on it, and it'll download to your system. That's also really awful. It's
Right.
not really much better. This is why I didn't get a Switch 2. I'm going to be honest with you. I couldn't get. That was the worst thing, is the game key card. That and the fact they were bricking people's systems that they paid money for. But there is no GTA 6. Well, you keep that mentality, but I'm just worried that the game will still sell. We already heard on Friday about what the Take-Two guy said. Why buy Call of Duty Black Ops 2? Do you want to spend $40 on Black Ops, or do you want to spend $4 on Quake? On sale this week on PlayStation, probably all the other systems too. But in addition, Quake adds free 30th anniversary campaign for all PlayStation 5 players, not just PlayStation 5. Anyone who has Quake, whether you have it on PC or you have it on console, you get a free campaign developed by Machine Games. And here's the weird part about this. This is technically id Software, which is also owned by Microsoft. So I feel like the Activision side is ripping you off, whereas they're just giving you stuff on the id side.
Right.
Or the Bethesda side, because it owns Bethesda. But, you know, I
Right.
don't get this. Like, you have access to this new campaign.
It's a Bethesda thing. Watch for it to crash every time you try to change screens.
Well, it's technically id.
Yeah.
To the point where it's almost completely unplayable.
Anyway, this is id, not really Bethesda. And technically it's not even id, it's Machine Games. But I'm normally not a big fan of them. But frankly, free. If it's free, it's me. Ahead of this weekend's QuakeCon, it's time to frag like it's 1996. If you happen to own a PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 4 version of id Software's iconic Quake, or if you own the PC version, if you own the Nintendo Switch version, because I got this campaign on the Switch, it's been updated with an all-new 19-level campaign, and it's free. They just add it to the game for you. What do you think of that, huh?
I mean, yeah, that sounds like good marketing.
And how much did Quake cost at full price when it came out? $10, and you can usually get it on sale for $4. You can get Quake 2 on sale for $4 this week. You can get Quake 1 and 2 in a combo pack for $6. Buy that instead of Call of Duty.
Right?
Oh. Dawn of the Machine, developed to celebrate the series' 30th anniversary, is free for everyone who owns a copy. Yes, we already said that. Also includes all new music and a fresh deathmatch map. You get deathmatch on Quake. Come on, you can play online with your paid service on X. Never mind. Except on PC, where you get to play online for free. Dawn of the Machine has players back in the boots of Quake's battle-hardened protagonist Ranger as he escapes an illusionary dimension where time folds back in onto itself. As the looping cycle of time progresses, so will players as they discover ways to break the loop, uncover upgrades to their health and ammunition supplies, and eventually take down the Nightmare Machine, the source of the Ranger's planar prison. I was playing this much. At certain points of the level, you go through something and you go forward or backward in time on the level. It like zips you all around. It's rather disorientating. Wow. But it's free and it's available. Like, we don't just do bad news here. This is good news. This is what companies should do. This is what id used to do. Id will not be doing this in the future because id is probably a shadow of their self now. But at least you can get this additional Quake level in Quake 1. Does anybody care about Quake? There's a reason they call me Aged Boomer. It's because the 30-year-old boomer meme was the guy that said Quake is a good game. Well, Quake is a good game. I remember the Quake engine for Voyage Elite Force. The Quake engine did a lot of stuff. They should remaster that, actually. I remember when those Star Trek Voyager games came out. And I remember reading a post online where some of the guys, when did Star Trek games get good? Maybe it's when Star Wars games started to suck, because I guess at that point they'd had a lot of bad Star Wars games. And it's like,
yeah.
But anyway, you know, you can play this if you want, Troy. It's available with your version. Just update it.
Yeah.
The one I got you.
There you go.
If you're so inclined. But Aged Boomer, I wish for years that Sony would make a Killzone remake and a Sly Cooper remastered games. Yes, well, I don't know what to tell you. They've been sitting on those franchises for a while. They've sat on Resistance. Sony had their own first-person shooter series. They were yelling about Call of Duty becoming, being bought by Xbox. Don't yell about that. Make your own first-person shooter. Make Resistance great again. Resistance was a cool first-person shooter. It was like in an alternative history where like aliens had invaded Earth before the World
I
War.
played that. I played that game. I loved that game.
And that was a Sony-owned property. Sony can do good. I'm not saying they can. I don't get it. I only care about my Quaker Oats oatmeal. Well, that's okay. But you should play Quake. Everyone should play Quake. It's available on everything, and it's cheap, and it's a bloody good time because you can throw grenades at one of the ogres, and then they blow up, and the head flies off, and then you hear it fall in the water behind you, and that's good gaming. All right.
I agree.
There you go. Okay. I'm gonna plug Evercade now. So
I know you always find a way to work a reference to Evercade into almost every stream.
This is why, because what is the motto of Evercade? What do they say?
I don't know.
I think it's physical forever, unless that's a different company. Never mind.
I'll tell you what, that's going to be a great marketing line. That's going to have some serious payoffs if they stick with it.
Let me double check, make sure that is their tagline. Physical forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, physical is forever. That's their motto. Physical is forever. Yep. And what you do with Evercade is you buy one of their portables or you buy one of their consoles, and you can just get these little game cartridges, and they have games on them, and you put them into your console. And sometimes they can update the game cartridge, but when they update the game cartridge, to patch, if they have to patch anything, it stays on the cartridge, not on the console. A lot of times when you update games on other systems, even on Nintendo systems, they wouldn't update your game card, they would update the console. This updates the cartridge itself. This is for physical media collectors, and this is cool. And now we're getting Doom. So if you want a cheap way to play Doom, you can get Doom for $30, and you can play it on the new Evercade Nexus coming out. Troy could play it on that little dinky Atari thing I got him. If you were so inclined. But yeah, because they release this stuff called Super Pockets, which already have games on them too, and they also release the Evercade Versus, which is like a thing you hook up to your TV, and it has controllers, and you can play the game on your TV. So Blaze has just officially answered whether the Evercade can run Doom, as a new collection is coming on October 30th. Better still, the original Boomer shooter, its sequel, and a bunch of mission packs and deathmatch levels will arrive alongside a special edition Evercade Nexus handheld that looks like it's from the bowels of Mars. Available for pre-order today at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, UK, or 3 p.m. BST UK time. The Evercade Nexus Doom Edition will set you back $249.99, but it comes with a lot of swag. You get you get the system, you get a Mars red case, a cartridge keychain, a double-sided poster with the shooter's edge artwork, and a bonus comic book. And of course, you get the game. And I did not pre-order this though, and this thing was sold out in an hour.
I'm not surprised.
I'm just going to get the cartridge. Okay, it's fine. It's $30, and I can play it on my console or one of my portables. But the Doom Retro handle itself is also dressed up as a demon-infested space facility attire, complete with hazard warning trim and UAC logos. The cursed caveat here is that the portable is limited to 3,000 units, so you'll have to straight the Blaze's fun stock when the gates open today. I don't know if any of you in the chat even know about Evercade, or if you're interested in getting the Nexus portable console. If you do pre-order it from Best Buy, you get an extra game with it. It comes with Banjo-Kazooie, which we'll be talking about in a minute. And if you get it from Best Buy, you get a Data East Arcade Collection 2 with it too. So you missed out on the Doom Slayer pack. But what's cool about it is, we're getting Doom. You get the aforementioned 6 mission packs, including Plutonium Experiment from Final Doom and No Rest for the Living. The Split Screen multiplayer helps drive home the experience I was originally looking for with the PlayStation 1 version. Okay, because they didn't have Split Screen multiplayer when you got it on consoles. And, Sure, Doom on the Evercade might not feel technically impressive, given the platform now has 3D ROMs like Banjo-Kazooie, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But gaining the granddaddy of first-person shooters is still an accolade. Look, here's what it is. If you want to pretend like you're living in the 90s again, and you don't have $30, that ain't cheap. Well, you know what, Geek Flag? I'm sure you can get the Doom collection on PC or your modern console, Doom 1 and 2, for $4 this week digitally. But
I'm telling you though, there's $60 games coming out that suck, that are unstable, that you don't actually own.
Okay.
Just saying.
This is for weirdos like me that want to pretend I'm living in the 90s, that I can go and get a physical cartridge. And they have some good cartridges, too. Evercade capitalizing on great timing. Only way to get those types of cartridges was to go to Asia. Oh, that's interesting. But, yeah. What can I tell you, Geek Flag? The cartridge used to be 20, but now they're... Now they're
I mean, the inflation is a thing.
It was inflation and also tariffs because they were an English-based company. But actually, they said because of the RAM prices, they also had to raise the prices in Europe and other places. So now they're $30 everywhere. They're actually not passing that cost on to us Americans yet, so that was good. This is a British-owned company, though, and they are based out of England. And it's just neat, though, because you get a little plastic case, and you get a manual, and sometimes some stickers, and you get the cartridge. And it's for those of us that want to, go back in time and get games like we used to. And a lot of the time they are retro games or they're modern indie games. They get released on the Evercade as well. So it's just a neat little setup they have. They've released a lot of cartridges over the years. And, like I said, I own some digital stuff too, Jamie Lee Simmons. But as Troy has said in the past, diversify. I can play Doom on my Nintendo Switch, and I only paid like $4 for it.
And I've said this before too. I mean, there's a reason digital does have its place, right? When you've had the opportunity to get the physical media all along, and then somewhere down the line for like $2 you can get a digital game. Well, for some of these crazy cheap prices that I see on Steam, I look at it and go, even if I don't own it, even if it's just an in quotes rental, I'm going to play the heck out of that. It's going to be so worth it. I'm okay with that. Yeah. Some of these games too don't necessarily have the replayability either, because you're playing like Ultima 3, Ultima 4 for the nostalgia of it. But once you've gotten through it once, you don't want to go back and play it over again, so.
I know that if Evercade ever makes a deal with EA, though, they're going to bring Ultima to Evercade, and that'll be weird because they bring the old stuff too. It's weird. They have Commodore 64 games on this thing. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
They'll have Commodore 64 games, but now they're going to have Doom, and Doom, of course, is one of my favorite games of all time, and I do own it for various systems and various forms, but I don't own the original Doom in a proper physical cartridge. So now I get to own it as a physical cartridge. So yes, I'll be picking this up. And Banjo-Kazooie is also coming out. Do you know what Banjo-Kazooie is?
Yes, I do. Well, basically because of you, but actually I knew the name completely detached from anything previously, but then you basically explained it to me, so I get it now.
Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie are coming to Evercade together in the Banjo-Kazooie double pack on October 30th. So when Nintendo, I don't want to say they owned Rare, because if they owned Rare, Microsoft wouldn't have bought it out from under them, but basically Rare made a lot of games for Nintendo. They made GoldenEye, they made Donkey Kong Country, and Rare was making original mascot characters, and this was Banjo the bear and Kazooie the bird. And it's kind of neat. They have to go after this evil witch who has kidnapped Banjo's younger sister, Tootie. And in case you're wondering, yes, he does also play the banjo.
It kind of makes sense.
They're like modern-day Disney cartoon characters. That's what a lot of these old gaming mascots were like, okay? Yeah.
But they haven't been canceled because of, rewriting history.
Or people yelling at people in our government,
right,
in front of the.
Exactly.
I know what you're talking about. I'm surprised I didn't bring that up on this stream.
Yeah.
Anyway, Blaze Entertainment confirmed this week that they're adding the Banjo-Kazooie double pack to the Evercade lineup of retro titles. This particular pack is the first 2 games in the franchise, as there only are 2 games in the franchise, really. Banjo-Kazooie and its sequel, Banjo-Tooie, available as a package deal on a single cartridge for all Evercade systems. And it's neat. This will be a nice, cool 3D platformer. It's going to have refined analog. It's funny because this game was on Nintendo systems and it's also been on the Xbox. And with this version, they have to remove all Nintendo references and all Xbox references. So they kind of had to retool it just for the Evercade. But it's going to be full HD. It's going to be a nice version of this. And players will once again join Banjo-Kazooie on the request to defeat the Wicked Witch Gruntilda in Banjo-Kazooie before embarking on a much larger adventure in Banjo-Tooie featuring expanded worlds, new abilities, memorable characters, and countless secrets to uncover. Actually, this game could get canceled now because one of the characters in it is like a witch doctor. His name is Mumbo.
Oh, gosh. Well, actually, no. Witches are all in vogue now. You're not allowed to have a problem with anything that's supernatural these days.
Mumbo Jumbo, here's the puzzle piece, Banjo. Yes, instead of collecting stars like in Super Mario 64, you would collect jigsaw puzzle pieces to form a picture.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And I've seen this game but never played it. It's a beloved platformer. People kind of consider this kind of the peak of these 5th generation 3D platformers. They think Donkey Kong Country 64 destroyed the 3D platformer because it went too far, but people have a lot of affection for these games, and I'm glad to see them getting the love on Evercade because Lord knows Xbox didn't give them the love, and Nintendo, unfortunately, they dropped the ball when this studio got sold. So proper, and this another by the great English game studio Rare Games. So I'm glad to see this on the Evercade, and it'll be fun. Okay, that's all. I mean, you know what I'm getting for Christmas this year? I'm getting the Doom card, and I'm getting this. So I can pretend like I'm living in the 90s and blot out the modern world where they want you to own nothing and be happy. All right? Can I do that, please? And just pretend like I'm
you
back
can
in the
own nothing
90s.
and be happy.
Evercade, if you're listening, and I know you are, maybe you're not, but we need Quake on the Evercade. It has to happen. I just talked about Quake a minute ago. If for whatever reason you can't port the PC version, it was actually made.
Well, you know what? You should really take to social media with this and start sharing out on a daily basis. Hashtag Quake on Evercade.
I don't want to harass them just yet because I understand that they plan things out. They may already know the demand, and I don't want to harass them because they're not going to bring it out this year because they got Doom. They want you focused on Doom, but next year, no.
True.
That's when the campaign's going to start for Quake, and it can either be the PC version or if you can't port it, there was a Nintendo 64 version that was rather good of Quake. You can bring that if you can't bring the PC version.
There you go.
All right.
Okay, for those of us who don't know, what kind of game is Quake?
First-person shooter, killing things with guns. You have a nail gun.
I've actually got it, and I can show it to you. It's a well, I would call it a boomer shooter, but it's almost
it is a boomer shooter.
Starting it. I thought boomer shooters were only the scrolling ones.
Boomer shooter?
Yes, exactly.
No, boomer shooter is any shooter prior to Half-Life, I think. That's what they call it.
Gotcha.
It was basically games like Doom, games like Quake, games like Turok, Dinosaur Hunter, GoldenEye. They call these games boomer shooters. And you go around shooting at things. Now, Quake was the leap of... I mean, I'm not trying to badmouth Doom. Doom is great. But Quake allowed you to look in all directions. You could jump in it. So there were things you could do in Quake you couldn't do in Doom. But, yeah.
I was making a play on boomer as an age boomer.
That is actually true, too. Any game that boomer plays is a boomer shooter.
This is where my name came from, because they started calling people that like these style games boomers. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm a boomer now. And that's where my name came from. I'll go into I'm going to have to go into that meme next time and explain to people where my name comes from.
Don't let Michael French razz ya. He just likes to mess with you.
Michael's funny. Well, I'm sorry. On the stream Friday, he brings up some weird, and everyone in the chat knows what this is. It's some weird CD that has video on it, and what is that thing? Wait a minute.
Right.
He's in England. He lived in England for a while. This is some English thing.
That's
isn't
true.
I bet it's some
Possibly, yeah.
English thing. Okay.
That could be. You're right.
Now we're going to go over to Hollywood land. Let's leave gaming alone. See?
Yeah.
I'm just going to be the weird boomer playing my Evercade and pretending nothing else exists right now. Anyway, let's go to. We have a special report from our man in the field, though. Here we go.
Yes, we do. So let me bring this to you. This is an op-ed by our reporter in the field, Geek Flag with Nate Knows. He says, let me blow this up because I have old man eyes. Hollywood shot itself in the foot and then chased after the infinite stream. When Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey cleared $900 million worldwide, the headlines blared about the power of IMAX. Audiences queued up for $25 tickets, proving event cinema is alive and kicking. But behind those eye-popping numbers lies a cold financial reality. After splitting tickets with theaters, paying IMAX fees, covering a $250 million budget, and coughing up $150 million for marketing, the studio's actual net profit is far smaller than the gross suggests. Historically, home video saved the day. Physical media has Hollywood's ultimate safety net, a pure, high-margin profit machine that turned box office misfires into long-term gold mines. Then Hollywood shot itself in the foot and chased after the infinite stream. Back in the mid-2000s, home media was a $20 billion annual juggernaut. It cost studios about $1 to manufacture a DVD that retailed for $20, with no middleman, theater chains taking a 50% cut. If a movie flopped in theaters, DVD sales absorbed the blow. When Wall Street entered the chat, legacy studios panicked over streaming tech valuations and started demanding infinite subscriber growth above all else. To feed new streaming platforms, studios dismantled their most profitable window. They collapsed theater exclusivity down to 45 days, training an entire generation that buying physical media was obsolete. What executives missed was simple math. Subscription revenue hit a hard ceiling, while transactional physical sales scale infinitely with fan passion. Studios traded high-margin direct purchases for a fraction of a cent stream payouts. Retailers like Best Buy, Target, and Walmart gutted their physical media aisles, and major studios shattered their internal home distribution divisions. The plot twist? Cutting off mass market DVDs didn't kill physical media, it created a premium boutique renaissance. Much like vinyl records in music, physical film releases have morphed into a thriving collector's market. Film lovers, fed up with streaming price hikes, disappearing titles, and revoked digital licenses, are returning to physical media in droves. Boutique labels like Criterion, Arrow Video, and Shout Factory prove daily that fans will happily drop $35 to $50 on high bit rate 4K UHD steelbooks and feature packeted special editions. For nearly a century, Hollywood survived on a release waterfall designed to monetize a film at every stage: theaters, home video, cable, and syndication. By trying to collapse all those into a single monthly app subscription, studios cut away their own safety harness. Physical media was never just cheap plastic. It was Hollywood's ultimate insurance policy. Walking away from it remains one of the costliest self-inflicted wounds in entertainment history. Well, that's my 2 cents. This is Geek Flag with Nate Knows, 1973, signing off. Take it away, Geeky Geezers. So you have to imagine that in the the dark skinned baritone of my brother from another mother, Geek Flag with Nate. No, it's not really me. So there you go.
I think you did a good job. I do want to make a point though. I love the boutique labels of DVDs. That's
Mm-hmm.
I talk about physical media. I think in some ways he's right. We've had kind of a renaissance. The stuff we get from the boutique labels is better than the stuff we got from the studios. And so much to
Yeah.
the point that I don't really like buying stuff from the studios. I know Michael had brought up Warner Archives, but I almost wish I'd rather that stuff would just go to Arrow or some other company and they could put the stuff out because they've released some movies I've gotten on Blu-ray recently. I got the Arrow video version of Westworld, which
Yeah.
is very cool, and I got the Arrow version of Excalibur, which I loved. That's I mean, the Criterion put out a new version of Spinal Tap last summer. I mean, they're doing the work that the studios used to do with their own home video departments, but they're kind of doing a better job. Like that Buck Rogers set you got. That's from Kino. I still
Yes.
consider that a boutique edition, but that's probably better than whoever owned it would put it out. Right?
Well, that's right, because the
Yeah.
original version came out without the pilot episode. It had only the cinematic release, which had a different ending, or it didn't have the added on ending that they put on the television viewing of the pilot, which was the hook to the series.
Is that where
You should put.
Is that where he has the apartment?
Right, exactly. He talks about working with whoever it was over at the archives and kind of doing the whole sleeper thing where he's explaining what some of the items are and then taking some of those items for his own apartment to, make it a little bit more like home.
He puts a plant in there, and like, why do you have a plant in the room? Well, it makes it more, earthy.
It makes it look more natural, and But and then of course, Tweaky is all like keyed in on that. I will say this though, Nate does bring up Shout Factory as one of the ones keeping it alive, but Tom just was talking about this on Friday. Again, go check out our stream from
we're probably
Friday
gonna bring that
night
up next week. I may have
talking about Shout Factory actually turning to the dark side, shall we say. So they're not necessarily the best example of
were like you can buy older. Like
they were.
It's funny because Tom mentioned that, and I just recently bought a Shout Factory Blu-ray. It's a movie called Fear City with Tom Berenger, Billy D. Williams, Jack Scalia, and Melanie Griffith. And I'd never heard of this movie before, but
see, I had a screener of that back when I worked at the video store.
Is it good? Or did I waste my?
I don't remember. I don't remember, so that probably tells you something about it. Let's just say it wasn't so bad that I remember it as being bad.
There probably weren't any boobs, so he wasn't interested.
There might have been boobs, but you got to remember back then, everything had boobs. Almost everything had boobs, so it became, not so big a thing. Nowadays, seeing boobs is the surprise. It's like, wait, did I just see boobies?
It has. I'm a big fan of Billy D. Williams, and I wish I feel like he was a very underused actor in Hollywood.
I agree. Watch Brian's Song again.
Yeah, he's just an excellent actor. I loved him in what do you call it? Nighthawks with Stallone. And
playing
a cop again in this. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take the risk. I'm going to pick this up. It was on a sale, and it comes with an unrated version of the movie too. So hopefully this movie isn't censored since it's the unrated version that they didn't put in theaters. But we'll talk more about Shout Factory next week. And frankly, they're not the first one to be pulling stuff like this with releases. But yeah. Antitrust judge gives bad news to Paramount and Warner Brothers merger fight. Are we tired?
Go ahead.
Are we tired of this merger?
I am tired of hypocrisy related to it. Go ahead and read. I got to step away. I'll be right back.
The proposed merger between Paramount and Warner Brothers Discovery has encountered another major roadblock. Paramount Skydance will have to wait until March 2027 to defend its proposed acquisition of Warner Brothers at trial, dealing the company a costly setback in its effort to complete the massive merger. On Tuesday, U.S. District Judge Pacelli, Martinez, Yolgan rejected Paramount's request to begin the antitrust trial in November. Instead, the Biden-appointed judge scheduled 12 days of proceedings beginning March 2nd, 2027. The order was disclosed just hours before Paramount Skydance held its second quarter earnings call. In a letter to shareholders released before the call, Paramount leadership wrote, "We remain confident it will be completed, creating a stronger, more competitive, creative-first media company that builds on the foundation we've established, one that benefits consumers, theater exhibitors, and creatives." The judge's decision represents a compromise between Paramount and the coalition of 12 Democratic state attorney general challenging the deal, led by California Attorney General Rob Bonta. The states had requested an April 2027 trial. However, every additional month carries a steep price for Paramount. Under its agreement with Warner Brothers, the company must pay shareholders a ticking fee of approximately $7 million per day if the transaction remains unfinished after September 30th. Paramount could therefore owe more than $1 billion by the time of the trial begins. That figure could climb to approximately $1.7 billion if the transaction remains unresolved to June. However, according to Variety, the total would not become payable until after the deal is finalized. It would also add substantially to what is already a $111 billion investment. Paramount maintains that the states have no legitimate grounds to stop the acquisition. The court has set a trial date for early March. We respect the court's decision and continue to believe a trial on the merits is the best and most direct way for us to prove that what we've said from the start, this transaction is lawful, pro-competitive, and raises no antitrust concerns, a Paramount spokesperson said. The states argue that combining Paramount and Warner Brothers would eliminate competition between two of Hollywood's 5 major film studios. The resulting company would also control CBS, CNN, HBO, Showtime, Paramount Plus, HBO Max, and more than 50 cable channels. The Writers Guild of America has filed a separate challenge claiming the merger would reduce employment opportunities and suppress writers' compensation. Both cases will be considered during the March trial. The merger has already received approval from Warner Brothers Discovery shareholders and the Trump administration's Department of Justice. European regulators also cleared the transaction with conditions. Additionally, California Governor Gavin Newsom has reportedly expressed support for the merger, placing him at odds with his own attorney general. That's interesting. Paramount CEO David Ellison has accused the Democratic Attorney General of antitrust laws as a pretext to prevent him from taking control of CNN. The cable news network would become part of the combined company if the acquisition proceeds. Ellison has promised to preserve CNN's editorial independence. However, he has also made it clear that his personal politics differ from those commonly associated with the network. Although the political motivations alleged by Ellison remain unproven, some analysts maintain that predictions of the merger irreparably damage the industry are speculative. Many observers still expect the Paramount-Warner Brothers merger to receive financial approval. However, completing it may now carry substantially greater financial costs than Paramount initially anticipated. If Paramount loses that trial, it could also face a $7 billion breakup fee. The March schedule therefore gives Bonta and the merger's other opponents exactly what Paramount hopes to avoid: more time and considerably greater financial pressure.
I have to agree 100%. Welcome, by the way, Jonathan Conroy, if we didn't say hi to you earlier in the stream. They are so leaving California. Yeah, all of this does, they think they're really, sticking it to Paramount. All they're doing is sticking it to their own state. Exactly the thing that the argument against this merger. Oh, there's going to be less jobs. There's going to be less movie. People are going to lose their jobs. Well, people in your state are going to lose all of their jobs when these studios leave. And they're already doing it. You are driving them out. So those jobs you're trying to save won't exist in your state anyway.
Warner Brothers has been floundering. I'm sorry. They ain't going to make it with or without Paramount. I mean, they probably have a better chance. I think Warner Brothers might have a better chance of sticking around because of Paramount. Because I think.
I will keep going back to this. Where were you when Disney was buying 20th Century Fox? Where were you when Disney was buying Lucasfilm? You were all okay with that. You're still okay with it because you made so much money off of it. Okay. But you're coming out against it now.
This is a DA with a beef. Because even Gavin Newsom has no problem with this. The governor has
even friggin' Gavin stinking Newsom.
Okay, yes, which makes me think that this DA, and I don't know what his beef is. Is it because the Ellisons were, they think,
well, it's because just like I could very easily go off on a political screed about activist judges making up the law, ignoring the law because they are the oligarchs that decide everything. They get to decide, make the law, adjudicate on the law, and enforce the law somehow. Apparently,
I am the law.
that's what these activist judges believe. That's true, and unfortunately, we don't have anyone in our legislatures holding them to task.
So, what is Paramount going to do now? Are they still going to go with the March trial date? It sounds like they are going to do it.
Yeah.
If they lose, do they still have to pay this extra $1.7 billion, or is it only if they win?
It doesn't matter if they win or lose. If they have to wait that long, they're going to be paying. That's what they're getting at. This is a time related thing. Time is of the essence, and the process is the punishment with these courts.
It's possible that's what this is about. This is all about Donald Trump.
It's at least partly about Donald Trump, but I think it's...
They can't hit him, so they're hitting someone they feel is associated with him, which I don't really think he is. I mean, I think he's... go ahead.
No, that's partially true, but there's more to it than that too. This is union sensibilities and protectionism and anti-corporatism. Although it's anti-corporatism, the companies we don't like, not anti-corporatism, the ones that make us money. It's the ridiculous friggin' hypocrisy.
Does this DA have DSA leanings, maybe?
And they're afraid of losing CNN. I have heard a lot of people saying that, but who the hell watches CNN anymore? Gary Nerd Roddick gets more views than CNN. Seriously.
Yeah. So,
and they're worried about that. Well, but that's because they're still living in this, excuse the phrase, boomerish like mentality where they think it's still the 80s and the 90s. No, I'm sorry. We've now moved on to streaming because that's what you guys all wanted. And guess what? People are streaming on YouTube. And they're getting their news from X and from YouTube and, whatever else. Sorry, guys. Nobody gives a flying fig about CNN. It's not, you're not protecting anything of value by protecting CNN.
Yeah.
The states might have to pay as well. That's not a bad point, Jonathan Conroy. You're right on that.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of getting exhausted by this.
I'm going to disagree with you on this one, Nate. Even the libtards don't watch CNN. What they do is they take the talking points that have been regurgitated by the ones that do watch it, and then it becomes a meme for them, and they believe the bullcrap that comes out of CNN, but they're really getting it from X. They're really getting it from X or whatever their social media, maybe Blue Sky. I don't know what the heck libtards, watch these days, but that's where it comes from.
But yeah, the antitrust judge gives bad news to Paramount in Warner Brothers merger fight. Yeah, so I guess we'll have to wait and see how this trial goes. I assume they're still going through with this sale. I think they're too far along anyway to back out now, right? So
right.
Yeah. Okay. This is probably just her about hurting.
It's two giant engines, one being the neo-Marxists and activist judges and whatnot on the one side, and the studio machine on the other side, and they're going to grind away at each other, and nobody's going to really benefit from this. But whatever.
This is about hurting Ellison. I say get when this is over, maybe think about getting out of California because this is ridiculous.
Oh, they're absolutely doing that. If that doesn't happen, I'll eat my hat.
I think this is
not my favorite fedora. I'll eat a hat.
I think the DA has a beef with Ellison. I think that's what's going on here.
I agree.
I think this is bullying. All right, moving on. Sam Neill. We had talked about his unfortunate passing a few weeks ago, but apparently he is going to be in another movie before I saw his project coming out.
Yeah, he had already laid down the footage for this, so
The Legend of Zelda movie. It's so weird that Sony is making a Legend of Zelda movie because they're like Nintendo's competitor in the game.
Yeah.
Early today, news broke that Australia's Yuli Latukifu has landed the villain role of Ganondorf in The Legend of Zelda, Nintendo and Sony's live-action feature film based on the popular video game, and now sources tell us the late Sam Neill will also appear in the film. Reps for Sony couldn't be reached for comment, nor could Neil's former reps. The project, which wrapped in April, will mark one of Neil's final screen performances, if not the last. It's yet clear who he plays. He's going to play the old wizard dude that says, it's dangerous to go out alone. Take the sword. That's what, from the original game. It's
probably,
the first character into is this wizard guy, and he hands Link a wooden sword, or
right,
and that's what happens. Yeah. Other new additions to the Zelda movie include Severance's Deacon Lockman and Handmaid's Tale Yvonne Strahovski. Well, we know her from Chuck. Remember?
Yep.
Sources unclear on Strahovski's role, though we're told she's playing a queen character. They had Lockman playing Impa, the bodyguard advisor to up-and-coming Bo Bragason's Princess Zelda. Who's the people they like? The old ladies they always have, like an old lady they always have hanging out with the princess and things in fairy tale.
Oh, handmaids.
Yeah, I think that's what she was, but they've expanded her role in later games. But
or depending on
waiting.
They can be ladies in waiting as well. Yeah.
Zelda movie's plot remains under wraps, as previously announced. Benjamin Evan Ainsworth stars opposite Bragason in the lead role of Link. Castings for the Zelda tentpole have been very closely guarded. These, along with Latukufu's, are the very first since Nintendo announced the two leads last July. Sony first announced it would distribute and team up with Nintendo to co-finance the Zelda movie in the fall of 2023, with the Planet of the Apes franchise Wes Bell coming on board to direct, and Miyamoto and Avi Arad set to produce. T.S. Nolan penned the most recent draft of the script. The film is slated for release in theaters on May 7th, 2027. The Legend of Zelda franchise is created by Miyamoto and Takashi Tezuka. Follows the elf-like warrior Link and Princess Zelda as they fight to save the magical land of Hyrule from Ganon, an evil warlord turned demon king. Since its launch on Nintendo in 1986, the franchise has sold over 150 million units. So, yeah, I don't know. Fingers crossed.
Right. Exactly.
I think they know how important this movie is. I did like what the director said, how he was trying to treat it like making a live-action Studio Ghibli movie, which I think is the right way to go with a Zelda movie.
Right.
I like the casting so far. Yeah, I think they're all well cast. I guess, we have Ganon. Ganon comes from the desert people known as the Garuda. And Link and Zelda are Hylians. They're different races in Zelda. Yeah.
Right.
So, but they're not exactly elves. Like, are Hylians elves? Yes, but no. You know what I mean? Because they have pointy ears.
Right.
I just assume they're elves, but they're not like the elves from Lord of the Rings. They're more like regular people. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This is kind of neat. Oh, we got to speed up. The X-Files, I Want to Believe, Vrock Frankenstein. Watch the trailer for scary new director's cut. I'm just going to mention this briefly. There is a new R-rated cut of The X-Files Want to Believe that is coming to Hulu and Disney Plus on August 14th. And Chris Carter said, now I have a chance to go back and make the scary movie that I always intended to make. Carter explained, it's not just doing a director's cut to do a director's cut. It's really kind of bringing to life what was for me on the page and never got to screen. Because, of course, when the movie released in theaters, it was a PG-13 movie. I think he wanted to make this an R-rated movie back in the day. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm hoping it might be almost like watching a new X-Files movie.
Well, and I'm really fired up about R-rated films coming to Disney Plus. I mean, let's just plop our kids right down in front of that.
Well, it should really be on Hulu. That's where this movie belongs.
Right.
Because Hulu is the 20th Century Fox thing, and this is a 20th Century Fox property.
I agree.
Okay.
But I'm not sure that's how Disney sees it these days.
Yes. Let's move right along. I'm just going to jump through these. Babylon 5 is back, but there's a catch.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube. So you can now watch Babylon 5 from the comfort of YouTube if you're so inclined. J. Michael Straczynski.
Tubi as well.
And Tubi, but they're going to be interviews and things on the
on the YouTube one, yeah.
Straczynski, he made a fun announcement video. For so many years, there's been nowhere for Babylon 5 fans to congregate other than the occasional asylum or prisons. But outside of the sarcasm, the big reveal here is that the new Babylon 5 YouTube channel is now airing full episodes. I've been watching clips on the channel for a while, so it's kind of neat that we're getting full episodes. I'd watched the first episode a little while ago. Still holds up, so... Again, don't want to spend too much time on it, unfortunately, because we have to keep moving along. Sorry. I'm rushing through these. Yeah. It's because we spent so much time talking about Babylon 5. But, of course, this is the major news of the evening.
This one was amazing, yeah. I was like, of course.
Shatner. This man is a Renaissance man. Him and Gene Simmons, I'm telling you. I
mean, he kind of is.
William Shatner, 95, set to debut his new heavy metal band this fall. William Shatner is boldly going where no man has gone before. No, not space. He done that. The Star Trek star is going to debut his heavy metal rock band, cheekily named the Euchers, apostrophe included, at Riot Fest on Sunday, September 20th. I am going to be doing a live performance of my new live heavy metal spectacle at the Douglas Park in Chicago. Dude!
Yeah.
Shatner wrote on Instagram, "This is an event you'll definitely want to be telling your grandchildren about. I hope to see you there." The 95-year-old also shared a statement in a press release for Riot Fest saying, "I've always believed that music like space is about exploration. Riot Fest is exactly the kind of place where anything can happen. We're bringing volume, intensity, and a few surprises. I can't wait to share the experience with the fans." The performance will be reimagined songs of Shatner's musical catalog as released 15, as well as material for the upcoming album titled "What the F is Heavy Metal?" I'm sorry.
That's funny.
Let me see. Nothing is unreasonable here as far as I can see. Hopefully you can find John Stamos. I've heard he's hard to pin down. You have a couple months to get this together. I know Chicagoans can make me happy teasing the caption. The reference to John Stamos is a nod to Full House star making his Riot Fest debut last year. Oh, wouldn't it be funny if John Stamos is part of this band?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I don't know what to say, man. This man is a master of everything. Is he going to be wearing like Kiss style makeup, like with the star in his eye or something?
Well, here's the other thing. He realizes he doesn't even have to be good. This could just be a lark, you know? And it's going to be awesome. It really is.
Yeah. I think I'll just buy this album when it comes out. I'm sorry. I got to hear Shatner just, you know,
just for the heck of it. Yeah.
Shatner, I think Shatner in some ways is an example of someone who ages gracefully because he's still active, but I think he's in on the joke that, yes, I'm an old man now. You know what I'm saying? And
no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
He was in a delightful movie you should check out, the one where he loses his driver's license and he has to go get it back, and he's old man William Shatner in this, and Christopher Lloyd is his friend in it. It's funny. It's a funny movie. I forgot what it
sounds good.
I'll have to find the name, but anyway, we got to be wrapping up. But I would like to thank everybody for coming over from Troy's and Netter's streams to the original Aged Boomer channel and for Geeky Geezers, and thank you for the views. I appreciate it. You should wear Klingon makeup and Vulcan ears, dude. He may do that. You never know.
Right. That would be metal. That would be metal.
Imagine if there's like a scene where like there's a rival band and it's a Klingon band, because you know the Klingons must have metal bands, right?
That would be there is. Yes. There actually is. I know. Yes. Yeah.
I think some kid was listening to it on TNG and Picard told him to turn it off or something. Yeah, it's like
there you go.
All right, man. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for following me, Jamie Lynn. Thank you. Yeah. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. We're happy to have you over here. And what's coming up tonight? Do we have a deleted scenes doing anything?
Right after this, I'm not forwarding. We can't forward because we're on. And this is why we got to get him the watch time so that we can forward you places. Yes. But we wouldn't be forwarding you anyway because I love a Klingon ridge on my forehead, dude. I'm planning on bringing the old Klingon kit out of storage,
What?
and Khartan may very well return on the YouTubes at some future date. Something to look forward to. But no. Deleted Scenes has a members only stream coming up right after this. So members over on Deleted Scenes channel, head on over there. And then after that, we will be on Last Call Presents Doctor Who tonight at, 11:30 Central. That's 12:30 Eastern, late night. We will be wrapping up the Web Planet. From the William Hartnell era. So that's what we've got coming up tonight.
And we'll see if there are any spiders.
Yes, exactly right.
All right.
Webs without spiders doesn't make a lot of sense, but then there's a lot of things about the early days of Doctor Who that don't make a lot of sense.
Well, it's called the power of imagination. Anyway,
There you go.
Thank you everybody for showing up. Anyone, do you want to say goodbye, Netter? You can just say.
Yes, I want to just mention that all of you are Osmo.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And I'm really happy that you are all here. So thank you for joining us tonight. Remember to tune into Troy's channel for another episode of Doctor Who after this. And weekdays at noon Central for his liquid lunch.
Oh, yeah.
Because he always forgets to mention that.
I do.
And tomorrow is
and we
Monday
will-
Musings, right?
Tomorrow's Monday Musings, and it may very well be related to either the buyout or to physical media or whatever I have on my mind when I get up in the morning.
Exactly. And until next time, good night and God bless and stay healthy.
Yep.
Thank you. Yes. All right. Y'all have a good night. I'm going to play the outro and we're all set.